Long kick, inside 50, Harms! That was a ripper from Harms.
Well, that outstanding jump, just threw himself at the contest, good leap, and that's a really good mark.
Grew up a Melbourne fan, always wanted to wear the Demon colours. And he kicks their second. Brayshaw, centering bomb. Vince is under it. Harms! Mate, it is.
He's looked like a likely forward at different times. A couple of good overhead marks.
You'll hear the crowd go up. Every single one of them.
The start of an exciting career for James Harms, just his 8th game.
Well, that was 54 games ago, and it's been a long time since then. And our guest tonight has played 62 games for the Demons since making his debut in 2015. During that time, he's lined up in just about every position on the ground you can care to name, with stints down back, up forward, on the ball, short stints in the ruck, and has now been a revelation as a run-with player over the past 2 weeks. Welcome back to the Demonland podcast, James Harms.
G'day, guys. Thanks for having me. Bit of a throwback there to GWS a few years ago.
That's right. That was a great game. James, we mentioned in the intro that you've been a revelation in the past few weeks as a go-to run-with player. You've been tasked with curtailing arguably some of the best midfielders in the league in Dangerfield, Selwood, Sloane. What was going through your head when you got word from Goody that would be your role?
Not a whole lot, really. I just focused on pretty much keeping them out of the game. Didn't really worry about getting the ball too much, and just had a really defensive mindset going into the game. And when you're playing on good players like that, you got to stay switched on the whole time, because you give them a little bit of room and they take them well. So this mindset was just try and play my role for the team, and probably feel like I've done that the last couple of weeks.
James, I've always been fascinated about the process of what we call tagging. When you sort of go to someone from the first bounce, do you sort of go up to them and sort of say, hi, I'm James, I'll be following you around tonight? Or do you sort of just go up and let them work out that you're going to be the one following them around?
Yeah, I kind of, I just go up to him. Selwood got straight into me because he must have known that I was coming to him. And then Sloane was pretty good. He's not a bad fella. So I just go up, and I think they work out pretty quick when I'm all over him, the stoppage that I'm going to be with him for the day.
Is there like an international language of, do you just like a bit of a jostle or something that they know this bloke means business?
I just try and be physical, work to my strengths, and usually try and push them into the contest and get them into the the hustle and bustle in there, so they don't get on the outside of me.
James, have you had past experience in the tagging role? Is that something that you've had to sort of learn on the fly, or how's the experience with that been?
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of tagging in my career. I did a little bit in the VFL just before I got selected to play my first game, actually. So I was doing a few run with roles, but other than that, something I've probably had to learn over the last few weeks, and it's not too hard to just go and watch the vision and watch previous taggers on them and see what they do.
So as we mentioned earlier, you've done a few roles. One I was quite excited to see earlier this year was when you had a stint as the centre bounce ruckman. Could you tell us how that came about? Do you sort of get the nod in the week before the game saying you're it, or is it more sort of on the day?
That came about, I remember we had a meeting the day before a game, and Goody told me that I would take centre bounce when Maxi's off, and Tracker would take the ball ups around the ground. So, they warned us beforehand, but definitely not keen on getting back in the ruck. It's definitely for big boys, not for little fellas.
I've got good news for you. My mum, who is a very irregular attendee to the games, she was just happened to be taking photos that day, and she took a photo of your first centre bounce hit out. So if you ever want to frame that on your wall and remember the day, we've got the picture.
Show Dorney.
James, I thought you did an excellent job in keeping Sloane to 17 possessions, and then impressively racking up 23 of your own. How do you find the balance between like keeping your eye on the player that you're minding, but then also finding the ball yourself?
Yeah, Sloane's a really good player. He might have had just a bit of a quiet night, I reckon, but I actually only tagged him for the first half, so we dropped the tag in the second half to try and get me into the game a bit more because we were getting beaten around the ball. That was a little bit of a different one. Probably, I haven't had a lot of roles where probably in the first half I was pretty quiet and I got off in the second half. But probably something I need to learn is to win my own ball when I am tagging. So definitely something I probably can add to my games.
Of course, you're probably in a way lucky to even be playing the game, considering the injury to your hand in the game against the Cats and the fact you had to have surgery after that. In that case, making it even more impressive that you're able to play such a part in the victory. How's the hand going now, and does it feel as good as a hand that's just had surgery a week ago can be?
Yeah, I was a little bit touch and go there for a while. Obviously had surgery last Monday just to repair the third metatarsal in the hand. And yeah, it's credit to the physios and the doctor down at Melbourne. They backed me in, and we got all the work done in the week, and I didn't really do anything for the first part of the week, and then pretty much just played the game. So the hand pulled up not too bad. It was been a little bit sore the last couple of days, but so 9 days post surgery is pretty good, back to full function, and just got to watch the swelling. So yeah, just
don't get bitten by a dog. That cost a week. This didn't cost a week.
I've only got a little sausage dog, so she's all right. She won't bite me.
James, it was an amazing win on Saturday night, but early in the game we found ourselves 3 goals down. We're away from home with a very vocal crowd. What was the message at quarter time?
We're probably lacking, our contested area. We pride ourselves on being a really good contested ball team, and to Adelaide's credit, they served it up to us and got on top of us in the first quarter. And Goody just said, stay calm, keep grinding away, and we'll eventually grind them down and turn the tide a little bit. And as you said, the Adelaide crowd, they do play a big part in the results usually. So it was great to get the win down there. It's a really great win for not only the team but for the whole football club. And moving forward, we can build some confidence off that win and hopefully take it into the next few weeks.
So when you find yourself on the back foot early, how is the belief in the playing group that you can turn things around?
Yeah, it's very high. We definitely know what we're capable of, and as I said, we'll probably just a little bit off of our contested ball work, and that's if we don't bring that on game day, then teams will probably beat us. So when that's down, we're probably going to be behind a few goals, but when we get that back up and running, we're pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, you mentioned the Adelaide crowd. I think another thing I've always wanted to ask a player is, and you've just had 2 weeks in hostile environments, do you get that feeling that you're in enemy territory when you're playing those games interstate or in Geelong?
Yeah, definitely you do. I love it. It kind of makes you go a bit harder, and when the crowd's doing it kind of fires me up, and I think it does for a lot of the other boys. So, as much as we love playing at the G, I don't mind having, opposition supporters doing us because it really gets me going. It really fires me up.
And we've certainly had a good record at the Adelaide Oval, or as good a record as we've had there, certainly in Adelaide, because we didn't win a game there for about 15 years before the Adelaide Oval opened. Do you get a lot of what we would call verbals over the boundary line from the interstate crowds?
Yeah, we always cop a little bit. It's not too bad. I mean, you're always going to cop a bit, but here and there we covered a bit. It's all pretty, bit of fun and games.
James, obviously the result in Geelong was devastating to the playing group. For us supporters, it stung. And personally for me, it took me almost the whole week to recover. How long do you guys wallow in that before you have to sort of pick yourselves up and prepare for the next game?
Yeah, obviously we're pretty disappointed after that game, losing on the Sirens. I think that's twice we've lost them this year by, less than a goal. So, it's pretty devastating. But just after the game, we reflect, have a quick review on it, come into Monday and, we try and get our review done and then we move on to next week. So, as much as it hurts, we learn from it and then, we go again the next week.
As fans, many of us got the sense this week that it was, oh no, not again, during that last quarter against the Crows. How mindful were you and the playing group of not letting that happen again? And were there lessons that you learned from the week before that prepared you for that?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely learned a lot of lessons. Probably just more of our structure and how we set up, when games are tight and all the little things count. So, holding the ball in rather than dishing it out and letting them get a bit of run on. It's a tough one sometimes when you lose by a couple of points, but we definitely learnt from it, and hopefully the supporters and yourself could have seen on the weekend that we, we put everything into action and held on with the win. If we can go back to a couple of memorable games during your career and get your thoughts, one was late in 2015 against Collingwood, where you kick what proved to be the sealer in the last quarter. As a Melbourne supporter, what was it like to sink the Pies with your first career goal? Yeah, it was pretty good. I actually came on as a sub. Remember that? So I was feeling pretty fresh, running around like a headless chook for a little while there, trying to get a kick. But no, it was unreal. As you said, growing up as a Melbourne supporter, you dream as a kid to kick a goal for the club that you grew up acting for, and when I finally got to do that, it was pretty special. The second game that comes to mind is against the Gold Coast the next year, still very early in your career, and you played a fantastic game, especially in the first quarter. How does it feel to get on a roll like that when you've got the likes of Gary Ablett on the other side? Yeah, I did. I think I had 15 in the first quarter of that game. Most of it I had in the quarter. So, I just remember I was playing on the wing and I felt like it was one of those days where the ball just kept falling in my lap, to be honest with you. To play against Gary Ablett, he's probably going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. You kind of pinch yourself every time you're out there next to him. So, it's great fun playing next to him. And, as I said, you kind of pinch yourself. Well, you must pinch yourself playing with the likes of 𝗪cie and Clary Oliver. At the moment, they're just killing it. Yeah, absolutely. Big 𝗪cie's bloody dominating, and young Claz, he's already a star, and it's pretty exciting to think about, what he's going to be like in 3 or 4 years' time when he gets a bit older and more mature. But at the moment, he's playing some good footy. Oh, he definitely is. James, it's a favourite pastime of us fans to go through all the possible permutations with the ladder predictors to see what stars need to align for us to make the finals. How aware are the players of all those calculations needed, or is it just a simple matter of just going out there and if we win, then we're in? I'm not really too sure on the calculations and whatnot, so I'm not sure about the other boys, but at the moment, I guess, I know it's one of those common cliches that you hear every week, but, there's 4 weeks left and, we'll probably just take it week by week and try and, get as many wins as we can. It's a really important match this week against Gold Coast. It's a bit of a danger match, so we've got to go out there and play the same way as we did the last few weeks, and I'm sure if we do that, then we'll go a long way to winning. Absolutely. Well, our destiny's in our own hands. We just good luck to you and the boys and bring it home for us. James, thank you once again for joining us on the Demonland podcast. We really appreciate your time, and as I said, good luck for the rest of the season. Thanks, Alex. Thank you heaps for having me.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Cheers.
That was James Harms joining us on the Demonland podcast, and we thank James and the Footy Club for generously giving us their time.